Hey there, future Triangle residents. Today we are diving into the friendly rivalry between two of the area's hottest suburban spots. I'm talking about Holly Springs and Apex. I'll be breaking down everything you need to know to decide which town is right for you. I'm even gonna get into politics. Here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Heather Taylor, founder of Tailored Realty Group, where we create real estate experiences tailored to who? That's right, tailored to you. Now, before we get started here today, if you are enjoying my content, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me. All right, let's start with the basics. Let's talk a little bit about location. Apex and Holly Springs are both perfectly situated for anyone who wants to be close enough to the Triangle's key areas without being right in the middle of like downtown Raleigh. Apex is a little bit closer to Research Triangle Park, which is a big perk if you work in tech, life sciences, or one of the other major companies there like IBM or Cisco or Biogen. Holly Springs is a little bit further. Could be 5 minutes further, could be as much as 20 minutes further, depending on traffic and which side of Holly Springs you live on. Don't forget though that Holly Springs is developing a biotech hub of its own with its Catalyst Bio campus. So companies like Fujifilm Dynasynth and Amgen are all setting up shop right here in Holly Springs. If Raleigh is more your style, Apex is only about 20 minutes southwest, making it an easy trip into the capital. Now, Holly Springs is a little bit further out. It can be anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes further, depending on where you live in Holly Springs. Speaking of traveling from here to there, both towns have easy access to I-540, which will get you to RDU, Raleigh-Durham International Airport, in under 30 minutes. You might also be wondering, how close are the beaches and the mountains to Holly Springs and Apex? Well, whether you're all about the ocean or all about the mountains, you're in luck in either town. The coast, like Wilmington or Emerald Isle, is roughly a 2-hour drive east. And if you're more into mountain vibes, the Blue Ridge Mountains are just 3 hours west. Let's not forget about another popular spot around here. That's Durham. Well, I should say some people love it, some people hate it. It's not for everyone. But there is a lot going on in Durham. You've got Duke University, you've got the Durham Performing Arts Center, or DPAC, and lots of food and culture. Durham is only around 30 to 35 minutes from either town, which gives you more options for a fun night out or a weekend adventure. Whether it's work, play, travel, all of the above, Apex and Holly Springs are both situated in prime locations to get you quickly to anything the Triangle has to offer and get you out of here if that's what you're looking to do. All right, my friends, buckle up because next I'm diving into a topic that might make some real estate agents squirm a little bit. Yep, I'm talking about politics. Now, wait, before you click away or drop a nasty comment, please hear me out. This is not about convincing you of anything. Instead, it's about something I've noticed more and more lately. When people reach out to me, they're often looking for communities that fit their political vibe. Well, here's the good news. Both Apex and Holly Springs are still pretty purple. That means no matter which way you lean, you'll find like-minded people nearby. Bottom line is, whether you're red, blue, or somewhere in the middle, you're welcome both in Apex and Holly Springs. All right, let's talk a little bit about the demographics and break down who's actually living in these two towns. Apex has the larger population with about 75,000 residents, gives it a little bit more of that suburban buzz, and Holly Springs is a bit smaller with around 42,000 residents, but it's one of the fastest growing towns in North Carolina. In fact, when I moved from Cary to Apex, Apex was the size that Holly Springs is now, and Holly Springs was about half the size it is now, and that was just 10, 12 years ago. So both towns have been experiencing and continue to experience rapid growth. Now, when it comes to how old the residents of each town is, Apex has a median age in the mid-30s, and Holly Springs is just a touch younger. So both towns skew towards a lively crowd with plenty of families and young professionals. Income-wise, both towns are solid, with median household incomes in the 120,000 range, which is significantly above the national median, which tells you that these towns are home to some pretty well-established professionals. Now, you might be wondering, how educated are these people? Well, good news. Both towns take education very seriously. Over half the residents in both Apex and Holly Springs hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and there's a significant portion of these folks that have advanced degrees as well. And one more fun fact, both towns are pretty diverse, with Apex having a slightly higher international population. You'll find lots of different cultures and lots of different backgrounds represented, which adds a great mix of people, food, and experiences. Both Apex and Holly Springs are pretty welcoming communities with a friendly vibe, so whether you're coming from across the country or somewhere else, you can find a place to call home in either Apex or Holly Springs. If you're looking for that perfect blend of small town charm, vibrant community events, and tons of things to do, Apex and Holly Springs have got you covered. Let's take a stroll through their best spots, their historic roots, and the creative culture each town brings to the table. When it comes to outdoor fun, both Apex and Holly Springs have tons of options to get you outside and loving life. Apex, though, steps it up a notch with a more extensive greenway system, plus what you see here, the American Tobacco Trail. This Rails to Trails project spans 3 counties and over 22 miles of gorgeous scenery. This time of year, it's absolutely beautiful with the trees all changing color. It's just a great spot for marathon training or bike riding, especially if you've got kids. I used to bring my kids out here to ride and not have to worry about cars. Both towns have lake parks with fishing, nature trails, and kayaking, so you can get your lake day fix in either spot. In Apex, it's the Apex Community Park, and in Holly Springs, you've got Bass Lake Park. But here's the kicker. Apex Community Park has it all. It's got the multi-purpose fields, basketball, baseball, tennis, pickleball. So you could say Apex's lake park is like Holly Springs' park on steroids. Honestly, I think that kind of sums up the difference between the Apex parks and the Holly Springs parks in general. Also, Jordan Lake, which is a great spot for camping and hiking and biking, that is also just outside of Apex, much closer to Apex than Holly. Holly Springs does have a secret weapon, and that is Ting Park right behind me. It's a really cool stadium that seats about 1,800 people. It's home to collegiate summer baseball and soccer. It's also the venue for some great outdoor concerts and other community events. Additionally, it offers pickleball courts, tennis courts, basketball courts, and soccer fields. Now, Apex doesn't quite have anything like that. So if you're into catching a game or rocking out under the stars, Holly Springs has that special touch. Now let's talk a little bit about historic downtowns. Apex's downtown is like stepping back in time. You'll find plenty of local treasures all along Salem Street, from the old school caboose next to the Chamber of Commerce. Whoa! Oh. To favorite spots like the Provincial for an awesome dinner, sit at the bar, my recommendation, Salem Street Pub for a tasty drink and some people watching, or Neat and Sweet for after dinner desserts and drinks. Strolling through downtown Apex is just an adventure in and of itself. It's one of those places where you always run into someone you know. Literally, I'm here like every weekend, and I always run into people I know. It's one of my favorite things about Apex. Although it's a larger town, it still feels small on Salem Street. Holly Springs downtown has a different feel with fewer historic buildings and mostly new construction like you see behind me here. There are plenty of restaurant options, whether you're craving Italian, Vietnamese, Thai, or just your classic American. My personal favorite spot, the quirky Pimento Tea Room. This place has a vibe all its own. The food is fantastic, and on some nights, you can even catch live jazz music. It's more than just a meal, it's an experience. You also have to check out the wallpaper in the bathroom. If craft beer is more your style, Apex has the edge over Holly Springs with a handful of breweries in downtown, like this one right behind me. But don't worry, if you're more of a wine person like me, both towns have their own cozy wine bars to satisfy your wine cravings. In Holly Springs, you've got Niche Wine Lounge, and in Apex, it's Peak of the Vine. Are the arts your thing? If so, good news, the cultural arts scene in both towns is on the rise. The Hallie Cultural Arts Center right here in historic downtown is the go-to theater for performances, movie nights, art exhibits, and even creative classes. Meanwhile, Holly Springs offers a similar vibe with its Cultural Arts Center right next to the library in the charming downtown Village District. Both towns go big on community events. As an example, in Apex, you've got Peak Fest. It's a street festival that takes over the entire downtown every spring. It's packed with vendors, live music, food trucks, really just about everything you could want from a small town festival. It's one of those mark your calendar events that people look forward to every year, almost as much as the Christmas parade, which I've talked about in previous videos. That's the one where people line up their chairs, literally, I know I have pictures of this, I gotta show you guys, for a mile, one chair next to the other, the night before the parade, and the chairs are still there in the morning. It's shocking. Holly Springs brings its A game with the Holly Fest. It's their annual fall celebration, including carnival rides, food trucks, live performances. It's just perfect for families or just anyone who loves a good festival vibe. It's actually sunny and raining right now. What is happening? When it comes to shopping, Apex and Holly Springs both have plenty to offer. Apex has Beaver Creek Commons, a shopping hub similar to Holly Springs' Holly Springs Town Center, with big name stores like Target and Dick's Sporting Goods in both of those spots. But historic downtown Apex steps it up with a lineup of unique boutiques and local shops like the one I'm standing outside of right now, that you won't find in the same way in Holly Springs. Before we get to the housing market, let's discuss public schooling. Apex and Holly Springs both have strong public education options since they're both part of the highly rated Wake County public school system. It's one of the top performing districts in North Carolina. Now that said, Apex schools tend to edge out Holly Springs in state and national rankings, but here's a key tip. Even though Apex might have a slight advantage in overall ratings, the performance of individual schools can vary in each town. So if schools are high on your priority list, it's worth researching specific options to find the best fit for you and your family. And like I've said in previous videos, the Wake County public school system is really confusing. It's got things like capped schools, charter schools, magnet schools, year-round schools, and constant rezoning to think about. So it can really feel overwhelming to newcomers. In fact, if you're not from here, you definitely benefit from watching my video about the Wake County public school system. I will put a link to that video somewhere up here. Now the video is a little bit dated, but I think I recorded it just before COVID. It'll definitely get you started in the right direction. And then I can also connect you with some school selection consultants if you're wanting some additional help navigating the school system. Just go to my website, book a free consultation, and I'll hook you up with a school selection consultant. Now that we've covered the school systems, let's dive into the housing market, a key factor for many of you I know when you are choosing between these two towns. When we take a look at the numbers, there are some interesting differences in price trends for single-family resale homes. In Apex, the median price for a resale home that closed in the last 30 days is $620,000, and the average price is noticeably higher at $722,000. This gap tells us that Apex has a range of high-end luxury homes that pull that average up, which is great if you're looking for a little variety. Holly Springs, on the other hand, has a median home price of $568,000 and a slightly higher average of $610,000. The smaller gap between median and average means there's a more uniform price range with fewer high-end properties skewing the numbers. So generally, buyers will find Holly Springs to be a little bit more affordable than Apex. Ultimately, choosing between Holly Springs and Apex just comes down to your own personal preference. Both are fantastic choices, so you really can't go wrong. So which one do I prefer? Well, I might be a little bit biased since I call Apex home, but for me, the small town historic charm of downtown Apex with its unique shops and restaurants really won me over. And the fact that it's just a quick drive to all of the amenities Cary has to offer, that's a huge bonus. Now, if you're curious about what amenities those are, I'll put a link up here to my Apex versus Cary video, and you can get a full breakdown there. That's all I got for you this month. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you or any of your friends or family are thinking of buying or selling and investing in real estate in the Southwest Raleigh suburbs, please book a free consultation on my website. Oh boy, there's some other realtors coming. Look. There they are. We're everywhere. I told you I always run into people. Anyway, if you have friends or family moving anywhere in the United States, I have been in this business a long time. I have a great referral network, so I'm always happy to help you find a great agent wherever you're going or they're going, whatever the case. Maybe just book a free consultation on my website. Okay, my friends, I am out of here. You have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.